Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So I have a confession to make. Drumroll please. I started working back at Amazon. I started working back at Amazon, but this time it's not at the same warehouse that I was working at before. This time I'm working at a food warehouse, so it's not the same. Like, I'm not dealing with packages and stuff. So before I even get into that, I know you guys are probably wondering, like, what made you go back to Amazon and this, that, and the third, right? So basically, I never ever said that I wasn't gonna go back to Amazon. I just always said that I was never gonna go back to the warehouse with like the packages and everything. But Amazon, like I said before, is like, it's a great job, like great money, especially if you're a college student. So it's like, you could get the job pretty quick and it's pretty flexible. Well, the job that I have is pretty flexible. So I never ever said I was gonna go back. It was just a matter of when. I always normally want to go back to work when I either have something coming up, like a trip, or I'm trying to save, or just something like that. So that's basically how I started back working at Amazon. So I started working back at Amazon in March. So what happened was, when I was at school, I was like, yeah, I want to start back working because I want to save us some money. So like I can go, just do things, get things, like always have money just in case I need it. I was tired of going into my savings and getting stuff for like food and stuff. And I wanted to do things. I didn't just want to say, oh, I can't do this because I don't have any money. So I just wanted to start working and saving up for trips and stuff. So I asked my friend, I was like, hey, do you want to go work with me at Amazon? Like, it's good money and they have good perks and it's flexible and yada, yada, yada. And she's like, yeah, sure. She's like, I'll work with you at Amazon. So in like February, I think, we went to like the same thing that I said before. It's the same process. So we had to go to the new hiring event, had to do the drug test, the same thing. This time though, it was in Baltimore. So I work in Baltimore now, and my school is in Baltimore too. The little new hiring event was like in a hotel or something like that. So again, I had to wait for them to have new positions open and new shifts, and that took about like 3 weeks. Finally, they found a shift that worked for me, and it all kind of started happening around the coronavirus thing started happening. So I would say that was like March, when the coronavirus was kind of fresh. And at this point, I think they actually told us to leave school at this point, I think. So I think I wasn't even at school at this point. And so I started back working at Amazon, and that, like I said, this time it's a food warehouse. So what you do here is basically, it's kind of like, it's in a warehouse, but in the warehouse it's like a grocery store. So it's like they have aisles, they have a freezer section, they have a chiller section, they have a produce section. It's like a big grocery store, but it's in a warehouse. So basically what you do is you have to get orders ready for the customers, like the customers that order their food online. So they have like a dry section, a cool section to get the food. They have ice cream, they have everything. So basically there's different positions. You have the pickers. The pickers are like obviously the most important part. Those are the people that go with the carts. They call them carts. It's not grocery carts, but they're like these carts. And your manager will assign you a number of bags to fill up. So you have a little scanner, and you scan the item that you're putting into the bag, and you basically are doing that, just trying to fill up each order in all of your bags for the customer. And then you also have this thing, I can't remember the name of it, but it's basically like this thing on a pallet where you are like basically stocking the food onto the aisles for the pickers to get. And then you have other positions where like you're helping the drivers put their stuff in the car and organizing the bags so that the drivers can come get them. Most of the people do picking though. I've always done picking. I've done a couple of other positions because they needed more people, but mostly people do picking, and that's when you get the shopping cart and you just get the orders ready. I like this job better because it's like you're doing more stuff, so time doesn't go by as slow, if that makes sense. Like, time still goes by slow, but at least you're not just standing in one spot like the warehouse. So you're like going through the different aisles trying to get the different customers' orders. Sometimes you have to go in the chiller section. Sometimes you have to go in the freezer section. So it keeps things kind of interesting. It's not I wouldn't say it's like fun, but I would say it's better because it's more interesting than the other job. So yeah, so I would say, so far, I was only able to work a week in March because of the corona, and my mom, she didn't want me to go back because I live with her, so she's like, you can't go there and bring whatever back, which I understood. I totally understood. So yeah, I worked for a week. I did my training for like, they trained us for like 2 days. It seems hard when you get there. It seems like a lot, but it really is really, really easy. I really like the people there. The manager was super, well, I don't really know who the manager is because there's like, everybody is just all over the place. So it's not like you really have, like, you have a manager, but like, you don't, you know what I mean? So like, one of the people in charge, she was training us. She did a great job. She made sure that everyone knew what they were doing. She didn't rush it. She took her time with us. And yeah. So now we can get to, I guess, the pros and the cons. So I would say that the pros, definitely the money is still good. $15 an hour, very good. And they have a lot of opportunities where they offer more money, especially during this time, since a lot of people, they probably don't want to work during the virus. So they're offering like $3 surges, $2 surges. So yeah, the money is still good. I will also say that another pro is that it's definitely more interesting than the warehouse because, like, not only, like I said, do you have to work in the dry section, they call it the dry section, which means like, you know, not the freezer or not the chiller section, but there are also times when you have to work in the chiller or the freezer section. So when you're working in the chiller, it's literally like a freezer. So it's super cold. So they provide like these suits for you to put on and like a mask and everything so that you don't, if you're working in there for a long period of time, you won't get like, you know, like super cold or anything, and that you're still able to be warm. So yeah, the freezer is pretty cool because like they have like this tennis ball thing where you pull, and it's like a big machine, so like it like opens and it makes noise. It kind of reminds me of some type of like robot thing, but yeah. So you go inside the freezer and then it closes behind you and you're in there. It looks kind of cool inside there. I'm not even gonna lie, like it's cold, but it looks very cool. So yeah, you most of the times, I can't speak for everybody, but for me, I've never had to stay in there longer than like 10 minutes. So yeah, it's not that bad. But yeah, and then they also have the chiller section. I mean, not the chiller, I'm sorry. I think it's called the freezer section, and that's just where like the regular stuff is. So like produce and cheese. The like ice cream and stuff is in the chiller section, but in the freezer section, it's only like the stuff like milk and stuff like that. It's still cold inside there. I still recommend a jacket. So yeah, that part's cool too. A lot of people don't like working in there because it's cold. So most people prefer to work in the dry section, which is called the ambient section. So yeah, so those are, I guess I would say those are the pros. Yeah, I mean, it's still a job. Like, it's still a warehouse. Like I said in the last video, you have to know the type of worker that you are. If you don't think that you're gonna like a warehouse, then you probably like, it's just gonna feel like work to you. Like for me, it still feels like work because I don't particularly like working in a warehouse. Like I don't hate it, but I'm not excited to go to work every day. And you have some people that might be excited to go to work every day, or some people might prefer to work retail or whatever it is. But for me, I'm not excited to go to work every day, but I don't hate it. I'm not dragging my feet. Yeah, and also another great thing about the food warehouse is that it's flexible. So you can choose to work whenever. In order to keep the job, you have to work a minimum of 3 times a month, which is amazing, especially if you're a college student. Like the other warehouse, you had a schedule, so you had to go in, you know, every day. But the food warehouse, you choose your own schedule. So you find when they do their postings, and then you choose the time that works for you. So just like this week, I'm gonna work. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, I started back working again. So since Corona and everything was happening in March, after that first week of training, I stopped. And then I just started back working this week. So yeah, so I chose my schedule. I go onto the website, I choose my schedule. Not even my schedule, I'm sorry, my shift day. You can, a lot of times you could choose days in advance. So yeah, that's what I've been doing. Yeah, so it's pretty good. It's like, it's a great job, especially the food warehouse. Like you can't get any better than this, especially with the flexibility. Like you can keep your job. You only have to work 3 times out of the month. That's crazy. So yeah, so when I'm there, like I said, yes, the time still goes by slow, but it doesn't go by as slow as the other warehouse. And I guess the cons, I just said one con, the time still goes by slow. The other con, I would say, I'm not gonna really say they're cons because it's a job, it's work. It's not like a concert, you know? So it's not like it's not fun, but I don't think any of you guys would expect it to be fun. It's work. You're just going there to get your job done. So I guess I would say the only con is just that the time still goes by a little bit slow. And also they give you, if you have a 5-hour shift or below, you get a 15-minute break. If you have a 6-hour shift or above, you get a 30-minute break. The 15-minute breaks are pretty cool. What you do is, like, in your little scanner thing, you type in BRK, and then it knows that you're on break. And so, yeah, you take your 15-minute break, and you get back to working. So, yeah, so I'm definitely going to keep this job for a while because, I mean, it's great. You could keep it. You only have to work 3 times out of the month. So, yeah, during school, I'll probably work, like, twice a week and just try to save up some money when school starts back up. If school starts back up. So yeah, I'm definitely going to keep this job for a long time until I find something better, because the other job I couldn't keep for a long time because, like I said, you had to go there every day. It was like a schedule. You had to be committed. This job is more, you know, flexible. I think a lot of people like it. So yeah, so that is my experience working back at Amazon. Do I recommend it? I do recommend it, especially if you want some good money. Yeah, I recommend it for sure. Thank you guys for watching.